This programme's brought to you by Dunlop Tyres, Autosportinsurance.com, Praga New Generation and Spa05.com. Welcome to the legendary TT circuit at Assen in the north of Holland. 60,000 fans packing the motorcycle circuit on August the 5th for the biggest combined motorbike, karting and autosport event in Europe, the Gamma Racing Day. Sunny weather, spectacular demos and gorgeous scenery. It's been a success story for years. And for years now, the Supercar Challenge has been part of Racing Day too. So we'll show you the 6th round of the championship, which means 2 races for the Super GTs and GT classes and 1 for the Super Sport and Sport divisions.
Ja, het is een van de...
Dick van Elk saying it's been one of the highlights of our season for years. It started as the Rizla Racing Day, now it's the Gamma Racing Day, but it's a great event with loads of spectators, a challenging track. It's good for the drivers too. Well, it's the middle of the championship season, so spectators can expect some good battles out on the track.
Ja, het begint behoorlijk te spannen. Er zijn nog wel heel wat races. Er zijn nog ongeveer, ik denk, 180 punten te verdelen.
It's getting very exciting, says Dick. Although there's still 180 points on offer this season, you can see that drivers are taking more risks. In Saturday's race, we saw some fantastic battling, door to door. We did ask the drivers to take it easy, but it really shows they're up for the racing. Well, it's getting even more exciting because in the Super GT division, the top 3 cars from Mad and Daring Racing won't be here. After a troublesome GT Open meeting in Paul Ricard, they couldn't re-prepare the cars for Assen. They've assured us they will be back in time, though, for the next round at Zandvoort. Well, that's exactly what their rivals needed. 2 races means a maximum of 44 points on offer, so a strong performance here could hand someone else the title lead. Like Robert de Graaf and Philip Ribbons, perhaps. Their Dodge Viper SRT is 4th in Super GT. They need 41 points to lead the championship, and they've started the weekend well. They claim pole position for Saturday's opening encounter.
Ja, dat is wel lekker, hè?
Well, Philip Ribbons saying it's great. About time we got a pole, in fact. We get 1 point for that, so we'll have to see how the races go. We'll hope for, well, Robert will start and I'll finish it off. The GT class is the 2nd division, the Supercar Challenge, and so far the nimble orange Lotus Exige GT3 of Jan van der Kooi has been dominating the battle for pole. But the long, fast straights at Assen make it a more suitable track for GT Championship leader Barry Mason. The GT driver saying, first time in pole in qualifying, hopefully it'll be a good result in a fair battle. After some good results in the previous races, though, I got 40 seconds extra to stop in the pit stops. It's going to be difficult, but we'll fight on. In GTB, pole goes to the GT3 Cup Porsche of championship leaders Charlie Freins and Rennie Weinen.
Ja, heel spannend. We hebben goed gekwalificeerd.
It's going to be very exciting, says René. We've already shown good pace during qualifying. 25 seconds extra results penalty during our pit stops to make up for, but the race is an hour, so that should be enough. We'll aim for a podium. The weather's good, the car's great, I feel really good. Yeah, I think we'll end up on the podium. Well, they'll have to take up against a new competitor, the downgraded BMW silhouette of former champion Henk Thies. He used to compete in GTs, but now he's a GTB car. It should be interesting. So Saturday's first race, sunny weather, a warm and dry track, a little bit dusty offline after a truck demo festival a week earlier. Robert de Graaf on pole in the yellow Dodge Viper SRT from Noel Kohler's Corvette, Barry van Elk in the Mosler, and Bert Lonchin, the first of the Ferraris. So here we go, away at the start, and a great start from the Mosler, Barry van Elk leaping into the lead. Lots of dust offline, we're in 2nd place. Looking back from Van Elk, you can see the Ferraris already up to 3rd and 4th. That's Bert Lonchin and Jan Versluys. Noel Kohler's lost ground as Robert de Graaf tries to go around the outside of Ossenbrücken. Now that gives him a good line for the next slow left-hander, Strubben. And he gets his nose back in front, but as they both drift wide, through goes the Ferrari. Bert Lonchin, great opportunistic driving, and Perry van Elk in the Mosler powers his way alongside. Already this 1 hour race starts with plenty of excitement. No gloves on Jan Versluis. Maybe he's expecting high cockpit temperatures. Let's hope not too high. Stuck up behind the Mosler. Contact there with the Viper. Checks his mirrors. Still wheel to wheel for second. Van Elk with the Mosler, trying to get his nose in front. They're coming back down to the braking. On board with Barry Van Elk. And the Viper squeezes into second. Well, fantastic action on the opening lap. But Lonchin from fourth on the grid, leaping away immediately. And this battle for second can only help him. Marshall's there recovering a tyre stack. It looks like it's down at Harbocht, so what's going on there? Let's take a look. On board with Henk Thees. GTB pole sitter René Wijnen in the Porsche cuts the inside. Throws tyres everywhere, he spins off. Well, in comes Wijnen, looks like he's got damage, yes, a puncture. And the championship leader's in trouble. Bert Lonchin then, our race leader in the Ferrari. Robert de Graaf in second place. Barry Van Elk right with him, and Jan Versluis. René Snell is fifth in his Porsche. And Noel Kohler, in fact, Noel Kohler's just got by in the Corvette, up to fifth place ahead of René Snell. On board with de Graaf now, looking for the lead, and contact, and around goes the Ferrari. Well, that was a little clumsy, and for the second race in a row, Bert Lonchin spun out. And that means a drive-through penalty for the Viper driver. Well, that's not going to help him. Certainly not going to help Bert Lonchin.
Ja, het was een hectische start. Mijn banden waren niet goed warm, veel onderstuur.
Robert saying very hectic start. Tyres weren't warm enough. A lot of understeer. Everybody else seems to be going better. I had to defend hard. I got pushed wide on Strubben. I thought it was Bert. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But I started chasing him. At Ossenbrücken, I turned in early to try and get up on the inside. He was on the outside and came onto the racing line, but I was already next to him. So we made contact, he spun, I got a drive through, and then we had to really start pushing hard after that.
Ik was aan de leiding van de race, ik had een heel goede start. Ik had de
Had an excellent start, says Bert. Got the lead. After 3 or 4 laps, the Viper was chasing. And I was turning into the corner. He just bumped into me. I spun and had to rejoin right from the back. I just don't get it. My whole racing career, I've never ever seen such a move. I'm very disappointed. Well, bad news for them, good news for one man, and that is Barry Van Elk in the Mosler. He is the race leader, but not able to hang on to the lead of the race. Once more, technical problems will sideline him before the checkered flag. Here's Jan Storm in the BMW GT3 Z4. And despite feeling ill before the race, he's doing very well in 5th place. P4 at this stage, Bert Lonchin in the Ferrari. Jan Versluis drifting through the chicane, he's up to 3rd. Second place for the Corvette then. Noel Kohler and Adi van der Herk where they started, despite that gearbox problem. Well, high hopes before the race for the Viper duo, and for Philip Ribbons it worked out perfectly. Pole and retaking the lead after Barry Van Elk's Mosler dies. They claim maximum points despite that drive-through penalty. Well, they had fastest lap as well, 22 points in total. They're 19 away from taking the championship lead now. What a result. Second for the Corvette means they move up the order as well, but the Speed Tech drivers fared best. Great feeling, said Philip. Very tricky in the get Timber chicane. The car was all over the place. I had to push really hard to match Adi in the Corvette. The team gave me updates on his progress so I could keep him behind me, and here we are. In GT, Barry Mason had pole position but soon lost it to Jan van der Kooi in the Lotus. It was a battle of David versus Goliath. The tiny Lotus holding up the big Viper until he had to pit with technical problems. Not the first time this season the Lotus has dominated only to retire, and this time it was overheating. Well, they tried hard to fix it, but it was not to be. Jan saying we came in and out of the pit lane several times. I think we could start a restaurant. We're so good at cooking. Overheated 6 times today. We tried to just fill it with water, but that didn't help much. The guys were burning their hands on the filler cap, and that was pretty much the end of it. Shame, we were leading and we could have won easily, but not to be. That's the way it goes. So it's all that Barry Mason needed to secure his 3rd victory of the season in his Viper. Viper's winning both classes. Barry saying quite easy up to the pit stops when Jan van der Kooi dropped out of the race. From the start I really had to push hard though to keep up with the Lotus. Took it easy during the early laps because the field was a bit mixed up and anything could happen. After pit stops I only had to finish the race. That was pretty hard work as well because I was running out of fuel. The engine was stuttering on the last lap, but worked out fine. Well, the GTB class was excitement all the way, like this battle between Werner van Herk in the Mazda 3 and Dan Meyer in the Porsche GT3 Cup. Dan Meyer wouldn't see the flag though after collision with Kees Krijners Aston Martin. So Nelson van der Poel and Jackie van der Ende in the Ford Mondeo Silhouette came through for their 4th win of the season. A special moment too for Nelson van der Poel. Tough there, he said. Missed out last weekend, the last race, because of a personal tragedy. I have to say I wasn't really focused or in my usual rhythm, so I asked Jackie to start the race so I could take it easy, but everything went well. I got right up to speed when I got into the car. I was pushing hard, chasing the leader, I caught him and was able to take the win. And this one, he said, is for Raymond. So Kees Krijners making it to the podium after a collision with Dan Meyer in the latter stages of the race, the same point where Bert Lonchin was spun out. But a great result for Werner van Herk, 2nd place in his first race here at Assen. So stay with us. Coming up next, Sunday's Race 2 from the Gamma Racing Day. 60,000 eager fans waiting for the action. This programme's brought to you by Dunlop Tyres, Autosportinsurance.com, Praga New Generation and Spa05.com. The TT Circuit at Assen, the venue for 60,000 fans and the Gamma Racing Days. Well, the famous motorcycle Cathedral of Speed hosting a massive crowd for Europe's biggest motorsporting gathering. And the Supercar Challenge, part of the action. We get into the 2nd race of round 6 of the championship. After the first day's victors have scored maximum points, Robert de Graaf and Philip Ribbons will be looking for more. And for those who didn't fare quite so well, a chance to make up some lost ground. Well, the Viper drivers started on pole for the first race and they'll be back on pole for race 2. More points added to the pile. The Corvette C5R GT1 of Adi van der Hoek and Noel Kohler will start in 2nd place for race 2. Last time they won was round 3 at the Nürburgring. And Adi saying, well, it's hard to predict what might happen. You can go through so many different scenarios, but it never seems to go as you planned. We're starting from 2nd on the grid, and judging by yesterday's race, a podium shouldn't be too much of a problem, but it's always hard to tell. Anything can happen during the race, so we just have to push hard.
Maar we gaan er in ieder geval voor het podium.
Well, more sunny weather, a dry racetrack, and warm weather for the 60,000 fans packing the grandstands. A new record as the cars go away on their single warm-up lap. Well, they'll be ready for the rolling start. We're on board in SuperGT with Kees Krijners, P3 in the GTB class. Werner van Herk is next to him, and pole sitter Nelson van der Poel in the Ford Mondeo. Here's the view of our pole sitter, Philip Ribbons. He's pacing the field. Noel Kohler behind him in the Corvette. And on board with Jan Versluis. Now the two Ferraris made good starts in the first race on Saturday. The Corvette again a little slow away at the rolling start, but it is Philip Ribbons in the yellow Viper that has the lead. Up the inside, here's the Ferrari. Jan Verslijs is wearing gloves today, didn't yesterday, but he's in second place. Noel Kohler, ooh, a little bumping and boring as through goes Bert Lonchin as well. So Noel Kohler down to fourth place. Now they dropped down to 6th on the opening couple of laps in race 1, but that didn't stop them finishing in second place. A little further back, René Snell in his Porsche. On board with Kees Kreiner, replay of the rolling start right in front, Van der Poel, and around the outside goes Werner van Herk to take second place in the GTB class. Kreiner in the big Aston Martin. And there's someone outside as well. That's Charlie Freins in the Porsche. He goes around for third, trying to make that second as the Mazda goes wide. Oh, it's going to be 3 wide here. Very close stuff indeed. Fantastic action. We'll replay here from the opening lap. And starting from the back, Peter Verslijs in the Ferrari, but he got tagged from behind there. On board with Verslijs, battling with Dan Meyer's Porsche, and gets clattered into right back to the back of the field again. Onboard view from Henk Thees in the BMW M3 Silhouette. See the Ferrari going up the inside and really just misjudged the gap there. Well, there is our race leader, Philip Ribbons in the Viper from Jan Verslijs in his Ferrari. Bert Lonchin right behind him. He shares that car with Frans Lamotte. Here's the battle then for fourth place. Noel Kohler in the Corvette under all sorts of pressure from René Snell in that Porsche. The Corvette normally a GT1 car, the Porsche a GT2 car, but up the inside he goes under braking. Noel Kohler trying to use the Corvette's power to come back, finds the door closed. Change there for fourth place at the Haarbocht. In GTB, the new leader Charlie Freins really pushing on. Werner van Herk in the Mazda is second, but back to third place, pole sitter Nelson van der Poel. Kees Kreiner's Aston Martin has dropped down to 6th position in the class at the back of the picture there. Dan Meyer looking inside Errol Ayrton, the 2 Porsches battling for 4th in GTB. Meyer starting from the back of the grid after colliding with Kees Kreiner. Henk Thees also started at the back after engine problems on Saturday. This is for 5th. Gets by Errol Ayrton, who's being very cautious to avoid damage. Collisions dictated a lot of the results in the previous day's race, and the BMW Silhouette smoking a little there early in the race. That can't be a good sign. And here is the battle with the Corvette once more under pressure. Noel Kohler now has Peter Verslijs behind him, and Verslijs arrives hard and fast straight up the inside into the Geert Timmer chicane. Oh, hang on a minute. Verslijs, the engine has just died. Through as well goes the Mosler. Well, Verslijs in the pits shortly afterwards. The gearbox broke apparently, and the ECU just shut down the engine to prevent further damage. Well, that is a tough break for them. Philip Ribbons building up a big lead before the pit stops. He hands over to Robert de Graaf, but as well as their compulsory minute stationary, they've got success seconds to add as well.
We hebben weer een super auto gekregen van de jongens. Die hebben echt weer goed hun best gedaan.
Philip saying team's just given us an amazing car. It's fantastic to drive, so much fun. Start was great. I managed to open up the lead quickly. It makes it easier to drive the right line, keep a good pace if the car's well. I brought in 22-second lead, so hopefully that'll compensate for our success penalty seconds during the pit stop. Barry Mason taking his pit stop. He leads the GT class. Jan van der Kooi again retiring the Lotus, a repeat of Saturday's overheating. So once more, the Viper's doing well on this long, high-speed Assen TT circuit. with Barry van Elk. This is the battle for fourth. Right in front, Bert Lonchin in the Ferrari. Gets a good run out of the final chicane. Down the start-finish straight, using the power of that Corvette motor in the back of the Mosler to move himself up to fourth place overall. And there's another battle just in front. On board now with Jan Versluis. And that is René Snell taking second place on the roads. Porsche again, dynamite under braking. This is GTB leader Charlie Freins. Rennie Weinen will take over. They had a puncture in Saturday early on. Everything going well though Sunday. But their result seconds will cost them a lot of time in the pit lane. And that's part of the way that the championship balances the performance. In the opening going, I got by Kees Kreiner and Werner van Herk's Mazda. A couple of laps later, I caught up with the leader of the Ford Mondeo, says Charlie, passed him as well. The Mazda got by again, but I managed to get back and build up a lead. René's taken over, and he's now chasing Henk Thies, who's leading. Well, Thies with less result seconds in the BMW, the former GT class car, put down into the GTB category, and he's got a good lead. And Rennie Weinen will do really well to try and catch him. Late pit stop for Bert Lonchin. He hands over to gentleman driver Frans Lamotte. Lonchin, former FIA GT ace, well known for his international exploits. Frans Lamotte spent a lot of time racing in the Bell Car Series. Well, they've got no results penalties, so they should be able to pick up a few places. Just a compulsory 60-second pit stop for them. It won't be easy though. Extremely hot in Sunday's race. Despite his fitness, Bert Lonchin looking like he's worked hard for his living there. Robert de Graaf now at the wheel of the Viper back in front. Arie van der Herk making up for lost time in the Corvette. This is the battle for third place. And he goes up the inside of the Mosler of Perry van Elk. Two Corvette engine cars, the Corvette with the engine in front, the Mosler with the engine behind the driver. And the big screen showing a replay down in the pit lane. Bert Lonchin watching the action. Well, we're still second. A few more laps to go, so anything could happen. Could be second, could be fifth. That's how much can happen. So we'll see how it goes. Well, hopefully they'll avoid damage. Arie van der Herk passes Frans Lamotte on the last lap to grab second place as Robert de Graaf claims win number 2 for the Viper of the weekend.
Ja, ongelooflijk.
Incredible, he says. We managed to get maximum points for the entire weekend. We scored everything. 2 poles, 2 wins, 2 fastest laps. It was a perfect weekend, perfect car from a perfect team. Near the end, we still had to fight hard to stay in front, but I managed it. So thanks so much to the SpeedTech team. What a job they've done. Well, confirmation. Robert de Graaf and Philip Ribbons again on the top step of the podium. Nol Kohler, Arie van der Herk in second. Bert Lonchin, Frans Lamotte taking third place ahead of René Snell, Jan Versluis, and then Milko Tas and Niels Boyes in the Radical. In terms of points, a perfect weekend for the Viper drivers. No wonder they're happy. 44 points on offer, and they took them all, and with it, the championship lead. But their rivals will be back. Nol Kohler and Arie van der Herk moving up to third in the championship after a successful weekend for them. Barry Mason's Viper winning Sunday's race ahead of Jack Rosendaal's Porsche and Simon Atkinson in the Lamborghini.
Het was een makkelijke race, was het niet.
Barry saying it looked easy, but it wasn't. I had to push really hard to stay in front. Lap times were good, and that's what you need to lead. Maximum points for the championship. Great weekend for me. Well, it was indeed a great weekend, and he is the championship leader. Henk Thies and Pim van Reert in second. Sid Bellingham, Bert Redant in third position. Well, the BMWs have been moved down to the GTB class. And in that class, Henk Thies did claim victory in his BMW Silhouette from Charlie Freins, René Weinen, and Werner van Herk's Mazda in third position. Weinen and Freins leading the championship from Kreiner by just 7 points. Van der Ende and Van der Poel definitely not out of it. Stay with us then to find out who sprays the champagne in the Supersport and Sport divisions. This program's brought to you by Dunlop Tyres, Autosportinsurance.com, Praga New Generation and Spa05.com.